Alright guys, here we are. I've got this car in here. It would not shift from first to second gear, so we're going to pull the transmission out of it, and we're going to see, what problems that it may have had. But as you can see, nothing has been taken apart yet. Everything is still together. But this is a 2007 Ford Focus. I got it in the garage. It's already on jack stands. And now I'm going to start with pulling the battery, the breather, the intake tube, and the battery box out of the way. So stay tuned. I'll pick back up on the next step here in just a few minutes. Okay guys, I'm back. This is now I got the wheels off the car. It's on jack stands, and the battery's out and unhooked. If you look down here, there's two bolts, so two nuts there and one nut over here and one right back there that has to be removed to take the battery box out. And then we'll be on to taking the plate out. Okay guys, I'm just chiming in to tell you that these bolts are 13 millimeters and they're not in there real tight, so you won't have to worry about breaking them loose. They're just holding this plastic cover in. Okay, now that we got the box out of the way, if you look, here's the bracket. Well, under this is the transmission mount, but as part of moving this, you got to pop these wires off, and right here there is this connector right here that has to be moved. It has to be taken off of it, and down here too. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the axles loose and get them out of the way, so that whatever's going to leak out of the transmission, whatever fluid's going to leak out, it can go ahead and leak out into a pan before I get under it working on it. And just a heads up, the axle nut for this is a 32 millimeter. That should help a lot of people out. So, okay guys, to pull this, the spindle loose to get this axle out, I went ahead and I pulled the bolt off right here. This nut on this side is a 15, and on the other side is a Torx bit. It's a T50 that fits the other side. Get the light up in there. There you go. Now you can see it. That's how you get the lower ball joint loose. Okay guys, I'm back. I just wanted to give y'all an update. I got the breather box out of the way. I got the axles pulled loose from the spindles on both sides. Next step's going to be taking out this bracket here and the transmission mount, unhooking everything. But first I'm going to put a jack up under the transmission to hold it up, so that way we don't have to worry about it falling down to, Alright, after removing all the axles, I came back up here, got the rest of the intake removed, the intake manifold removed, and the hoses. So there's a lot of shit up here to have to remove. It is not for the faint of heart. So keep watching. Okay guys, I now have the transmission out. It's sitting on the ground now. I just wanted to tell you that there's a lot more involved than I thought there would be. It's really been an extensive job just to get this transmission out, and as I was working on it, let me zoom in, I noticed that on top of the transmission where the shaft speed sensor is, input shaft speed sensor is, there was fluid leaking all around. So another thing the in order to get the starter off, I ended up having to pull the intake off. Well, that was a nightmare in itself, just because there were so many bolts that it was hard to get to. But once you get it off, I found that there's a little rubber piece that sits in between the block and the transmission where the starter is. You pop it out, and then you can get to all the torque converter bolts, and they're all 15 millimeters. The Bellhausen bolts, they're most of them are 13s, some of them 15s. You do have to take the top mount off the transmission in order to get it out. Other than that, I just want to say this is a very extensive job. You know, if you're already into it, then there's no turning back. You know, you just got to keep going. There's a diagram online which, you know, depicts where all the intake bolts are and the hoses for it. My suggestion is to have somebody there to help you with it, because there is no doing it alone. You know, not for most people. You know, it's definitely a higher skill level type job. And for that, I just want to say that now, if you've been following me, you know, following this video, you should have the transmission out now. On a side note, there is no dust cover on the transmission like there is like with a Chevrolet automatic transmission, or a lot of import automatic transmissions that has the dust cover. You know, to get to the torque converter bolts, you have to specifically go in through the starter hole and then remove the little rubber boot that is sitting in there. Other than that, you should be good, you know, with it. There's a lot of wiring to it. Don't break any of your plugs or nothing. Other than that, I'll see y'all in the next video when I'm putting it back in. Hey guys, I'm in the garage, and I just wanted to come in for a minute and tell y'all at the end of this video that I had a guy tell me, you know, that when he pulls these transmissions, he has to pull the subframe out from under the car in order to drop the transmission. And I just wanted to say that it's not true. You do not have to pull the subframe. You know, none of that has to come loose. But there is an awful lot of wiring that has to be removed. You know, you can see it in the video. And with having to take the intake off, that was a nightmare in itself, due to where the bolt's under the intake and how it rolls down the motor, like around the front of it. It doesn't make it easy. But my next video, I'm gonna do a video of like actually rebuilding the transmission, like by the book. So, you know, my next video, you'll be able to see how to properly rebuild the transmission, go through it and check everything. And you know, stay tuned, you know.